Air, water, and weather. Some days are hot, while on some days the sky is cloudy and it rains heavily. Some days are cold and windy. The weather changes every day. Various factors affect the weather. Factors affecting the weather. The main source of heat for our Earth is the sun. We all know that when the sun rises, it is day and it sets just before night. We also feel the difference in the temperature of the day and the night. The days are warm in comparison to the nights. The rays of the sun fall on the earth during the day and make it hot. At night, our earth does not get sunlight, so it is cool. Tilted axis of the earth. In the morning and evening, the sun rays fall in a slanting position on the earth, so we do not feel very hot. At noon, the sun is positioned directly overhead, so we feel very hot at noon. Our earth rotates on its axis, which is tilted at an angle. So, half portion of the earth is closer to the sun, and the other half part is away from the sun. The part of the earth that is closer to the sun has summer because it gets more sunlight for a longer time. The part of the earth that is farther away from the sun has winter. So, the days in summer are longer and warmer, while in winter, the days are shorter and cooler. As the earth revolves around the sun, after some time, the other part comes closer to the sun and has summer. Thus, the earth rotates on its tilted axis as well as revolves around the sun. Hot air is lighter than cold air. Due to sunlight, air is heated easily. On heating, air becomes lighter and moves upwards and expands. This is called expansion of air. When air expands, it becomes lighter and rises up, and cold air rushes to replace it. This causes winds and storms. Sea breeze and land breeze. Have you ever walked on a beach on a hot day? The sand is very hot, but the water is cool. Activity: take 2 bowls. Fill one bowl with sand and the other one with water. Put them in the sunlight for 1 hour. You will find that the sand is hotter than the water. Now, put both bowls in a shady room for 1 hour. Now, you will find that the sand is cooler than the water. It shows that the sand heats up faster than the water during the day and cools faster than the water in the absence of sunlight. Land and sea breeze. In the coastal areas, during the day, the wind blows from the sea to the land. The heat of the sun heats the air above the land quickly than the air above the sea. So, the hot air above the land rises up, and the cool air present above the sea rushes to replace the hot air above the land. It is called sea breeze. It blows during the day. At night, the air above the water is warmer than the air above the land because water cools down slowly than the land. So, the hot air above the sea moves up and the cool air from the land rushes to replace the hot air above the sea. It is called land breeze. Land breeze blows during the night. Evaporation of water. When water is heated, it changes into water vapor. This process of changing of water into water vapor is called evaporation. Water vapor in the air also affects the weather. The heat of the sun causes evaporation of the water from rivers, ponds, wells, etc. This water vapor forms clouds and precipitates into rain. It may also form dew, frost, fog, and snow, depending on the season. Rate of evaporation. The rate of evaporation of water vapor in the atmosphere varies from place to place. There are various factors that affect the rate of evaporation. Effect of wind. Water evaporates faster on windy days. On windy days, clothes dry faster. You can do an experiment. Take 2 wet handkerchiefs. Hang one handkerchief in front of a fan and the other one away from the fan. You will find that the handkerchief placed in front of the fan dries faster than the other one. It proves that evaporation takes place faster when wind blows fast. Effect of heat. Again, take 2 wet handkerchiefs. Place one of them in the sunlight and the other one in your room. You will find that the handkerchief placed in the sunlight dries faster than the handkerchief placed in your room. It shows that water evaporates faster on a hot day. Effect of surface area. Take 2 wet towels. Spread out one towel and keep the other towel in a folded condition. You will find that the towel that was spread out dries faster than the folded one. It shows that water evaporates faster when the exposed surface area is large. Effect of dry air. Water evaporates faster in dry weather. You must have seen that clothes do not dry easily in the rainy season. It happens because the air contains a lot of water vapor. In dry summer season, clothes dry faster because the air is dry. Condensation of water. When water vapor cools, it changes into droplets of water. Let's do an experiment. Boil some water in a kettle. When the water vapor starts coming out of the spout, ask your mother or any elder to hold a cool steel lid in front of the spout. When water vapor comes in contact with the cool lid, it again changes into water droplets. This change of water vapor into water is called condensation. Different forms of condensed water. Rain. The heat of the sun evaporates the water from the water sources such as rivers, ponds, lakes, and oceans. The water vapor rises up with the warm air. At a higher altitude, the temperature is low. Therefore, the water vapor condenses into little droplets of water. These droplets combine together and form clouds. When these clouds pass through cool air, the little droplets become large and heavy. These water drops fall on the earth as rain. Dew. On a winter morning, we go out and see the grass in the lawn or park. The grass is covered with small water drops. We call these drops as dew. At night, the land cools very fast, so the water vapor present in the air near the land condenses and places on the grass and other objects in the form of dew. Frost. Sometimes when it is extremely cold at night and temperature falls below 0 degrees Celsius, the water present on the ground freezes, and turns into frost. Fog, when water vapor present in the air condenses and places on the dust particles present in the air close to the ground. Fog is formed. Fog is seen close to the ground. Sometimes fog is so dense that we cannot see beyond a few meters. Snow, when water vapor present in the air suddenly cools, it freezes into crystals of ice called snowflakes. These snowflakes fall on the earth as snow, and we call it snowfall. It occurs in very cold places. Hailstones. Sometimes when the cloud's temperature reaches below 0 degrees Celsius, water droplets freeze and form little balls of ice before hitting the ground. These ice balls are called hailstones. Water cycle. When it rains, most of the rainwater goes into the rivers, lakes, ponds, and oceans. This water again evaporates in the atmosphere in the form of water vapor by the heat of the sun. Air expands and goes up. Water vapor present in the air condenses and forms clouds. Water droplets join together and form heavier drops in the clouds. These drops fall back on the ground as rain. This process goes on repeatedly. This cycle of repeated change of water into different forms and again back into the water is known as water cycle. Water sources on Earth. Rivers, ponds, wells, lakes, seas and oceans are sources of water on the earth. Rain is the main source of water. When rain falls, some of it is collected in these water sources. Some part of it seeps into the ground. The water present under the surface of the earth is called groundwater. Purification of water. Most of the water available on the earth's surface is not fit to drink. Seas and oceans have salty water. Most of the rivers, lakes, ponds, wells, etc. have polluted water. This contains germs and dirt. Water can contain insoluble and soluble impurities and germs that cause diseases. Water obtained from these sources cannot be used for drinking directly. It must be made fit to drink. There are many ways of purifying water. Sedimentation and decantation. Take some polluted water in a beaker. Keep this beaker undisturbed for a while so that the insoluble impurities settle down at the bottom of the beaker. This process of settling down of the insoluble or heavier impurities at the bottom is called sedimentation. Now, pour the clear water from the beaker into another clean beaker carefully without disturbing the impurities settled at the bottom. The process of separating clean water from insoluble impurities is called decantation. Filtration. In this process, we use filter paper to filter the water. Take a jar and fix a funnel with a filter paper cone placed in it. Slowly pour the polluted water through it. Clean filtered water will be collected into the jar. This process is called filtration. Water from rivers or lakes is cleaned and purified by the waterworks in the cities so that we can use it for our consumption. Many substances like bleaching powder, potassium permanganate, chlorine, etc. are also used to purify water. People use water from rivers and wells in villages, which are usually polluted. They should boil it before drinking. Water is very precious, so we should not waste it.